All right, guys, welcome to another Friday night of Facebook Live with Senior Softball Bat Reviews. That is bright. There we go. I have to turn it up later because I want to talk about some stuff that I have on the computer. Let me talk about a few things first to kind of recap last week till I got people funneling in right now. Before I talk about what Leroy, I just got through watching Leroy. He called me earlier and he wanted to go on at an earlier spot. And the one thing about, it's so hard. And I think I actually got the best spot because it's so hard. It's so easy for me to go on and I still catch some of the East Coast guys from Florida because there is a lot of softball players in Florida. And they actually will hang in there and watch what we have to talk about. The really dedicated bat whore guys, and I'm going to talk about you guys later on, the bat whores, and I think I got the best time spot because you got JBI coming on later on too, and 10 o'clock here, and it's like, what is it, on 11 o'clock on the East Coast, but he does get his guys, I think it's 8 o'clock there in California, so he's got it that side, and I think if they would just go on a little earlier, but he called me up. What's up, Nick? He called me up earlier, texted me and asked me if he can go on a little earlier tonight. Probably had stuff to do, and I don't care about that. As long as we get our spots in on Friday night. Don't have as much to talk about. I got a little bit to talk about, but I don't have as much to talk about as he did. And if you guys watched Leroy, he, at the end of that right there, he was talking about authority, and I was watching what he was talking about, and what's up, Danny? And I kind of agree with him when it comes to that about authority figure, and you have these cops out there that are profiling, and they do a lot of that here in San Antonio too. The one thing, what happens there, guys, I have a lot of cops that are friends of mine, law enforcement officers. I have relatives. Brother-in-law's a law enforcement officer. Been in it for years. Got a lot of military friends that are in law enforcement officers. And I understand, but that those bad guys, like the guys you saw in that video, give a lot of the good guys a bad rep. And I talk about if you give somebody that much power, and it trickles. It's all over everything. It's just not with law enforcement officers. It's with a lot of other people out there too that have that power. Umpires being one of them, guys. And I just have a bad taste in my mouth about umpires, and I have for a long time. You guys know me, My wife worked for the San Antonio Spurs for 27 years, and I went to a lot of those games. And I think the Spurs were unfairly treated because they were a low market team. And I think a lot of the calls went toward the, East Coast and West Coast teams. And I watched it, and they just had an agenda. And they, you would have to have a badass team, which we did for a few years. You'd have to have a badass team to overcome that. But when the games are tight, like umpires in softball, when the games are tight, you can have that asshole or that he have some home cooking, where he's going to sway it in that direction and he'll make that call where you're like, how can you miss that call? So I've seen a lot of umpires, and I've talked about them in the past. I did videos about them in the past. What's up, Billy? I've done videos on them in the past about how it's this power that they get, law enforcement too, that's a few guys. I'm not saying all of them, a small part. And those guys just happen to get caught on camera because they're doing something fucking stupid. I just so happened to catch a few of them on camera, and they didn't know I had them on camera. So I actually put them out there. They can control, and I think it should be left on the field. I think, like somebody said, the best umpire is an umpire that does a very good job and you don't hear or you don't even know he's out there. And I agree with that 100%. Games that are basketball games that I would go to, and I probably watch more than the average person in person than a lot of other people out there. Not saying all, I'm just saying other people. And I see Kip Workman, what are you doing on here? And then I see a lot of the calls that are made there, and I know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to make it to a Game 7 because get a little bit more money going on for each team. And then let them go in game 7 and fight it out. Problem that game 7, whoever's hot going to win the game. I'm talking about basketball. But what happens with softball is you get these umpires, and the guys, you've seen them, you know, and a lot of them just don't give a shit what you think. A lot of them are out there, look at me, you know, the talkative umpire. Umpires should never talk. And I've seen it, guys, you know, my kids played football all through high school. So I saw it in high school. I seen the calls that weren't being made because, you know, the good team, the team that was predicted to win actually won because of a lot of the calls. And I'm not saying, here's another thing too, I'm not bitching and moaning about all umpires. I'm bitching and moaning about those little bit of umpires, those little bit of the law enforcement officers that are out there that do stupid shit, and they have that power surge. And you give too much power to some people and they just don't know what to do with it. And I think that's basically, you know, it's like, again, gonna repeat myself. When I brought this up a couple of weeks ago, somebody had said that the best umpire out there that does his job, makes the right calls, and as he's consistent in calling. You know, that's all you can ask for, because I've been a pitcher for 30-something years, so be consistent, that's all. I can change, just be consistent, and I can change. Because I'd ask an umpire, go, oh, why wasn't that a strike? And he'd blow up on me. I go, no, because I can change. I'm not trying to be a dick, because I can change. I can throw them deeper, I can throw them short, I can throw them corners, it doesn't matter. So I think consistency and not even knowing he's there, and you guys have a good game. There's not that one game you're going, how the hell did you miss that call, the other team to win? And when you're playing major plus ball, it only comes down, you know this, guys, when you're playing that major plus level and you've been playing it, and it's that one call because it's going back and forth. And I said this in last week's podcast, what determines a lot of times in major plus ball when you have teams that are really competitive is the coin flip. And that's it. Who's got home team? Who's got home team? And that buffet where you can get that team out so you give your team a chance to come up and win. What's up, Kirby? So that's what I wanted to address because I was watching Leroy. I think me and Leroy in the future, let me get this off here. I think Leroy in the future, me and him are going to actually do like Facebook Live together and talk about some topics because I like his brain. I like the way he thinks about the game. He was talking about something too that I wanted to finish up on because he was in there and talking about it was the guy that got suspended for 2 years and he came down to Texas and he was not going to be 50 that year. I can just tell you my opinion. I really don't, from what I can gather on everything that happened to that kid is, and I call him kid because he's in his 40s, but the only thing I can guess that he was going to turn 49 that year that he played, and he was going to turn 50 the next year. What's up, Clem? I was like, what are you doing texting me? Why aren't you on here watching? So I'm going to have to blame 3 people on that. I have to blame the kid because he should already known the rules. That's number 1. And if you don't know the rules, you're just begging, you're asking for trouble whenever you do that shit. Bubba. So I think that's number 1. It's if it was me, it was my own fault. I should have done research in it to find out if I was eligible to play. Fat Guy BP, I'm going to talk about you here in a minute. And the second guy should be the coach. And the only reason I'm saying that because I played with a very good coach for the last 10 years playing, not the last 10 years, 2 years ago. For 10 years playing 50s, 55s, and 60s, and he knew everything on every player. He knew who was supposed to get their cards. Now the coach is responsible for that. He's just not gonna have a guy in there and double check all of his shit. That's what our coach did. Me and Bubba just got on here. We played with a coach in Terry Epstein, Colorado. We played with him. He had a statistician and he had a secretary for softball. And I know a lot of you coaches out there can't do that, but they knew everything, everybody's date. They knew if they're legal, if they were not legal, what tournament we're going to, if they're on the roster, if they were signed up to play, because Bubba, and I think I picked up Bubba on that team, ERA. And then Sean LaRue came on later on. Glenn Dumont, I don't know if he's watching right now, another guy who's in the Air Force that actually played with us. He's on the East Coast now in Maine, where he lives. I think he retired. He's not playing senior ball. And they played, I mean, Terry Epstein was probably one of the best coaches that I've ever had, traveling and playing. We had a team ranked #1 in the nation. Talking about C-ball. You know, back then C-ball was pretty tough. And we always wanted to play in California. We were out of Denver, and we always, like Bubba was talking about him the other day, and he always wanted to play out of California, and we had everything. We didn't have to worry about shit. You didn't have to worry about anything. And we showed up. He gave us our bats, balls, uniforms. He gave us everything. And he took care of everybody, even your family members. He took care of them. He's not playing anymore, though. I mean, he liked the pitch. Let me move on here. Okay, hold on. There was 3 people. And then after the coach, the tournament director who was running that tournament should have looked at the licenses, looked at the card, and said, because they do have your number on the card on what you should be playing, and it should have said 50s. So I think that he's the last guy. I can't read that. It's too much for me. He's the last guy. And Murray, we need to come up there. He's the last guy. He should have caught it. So there's 2 different people it goes through, and then the last guy that actually checked that kid in, because you got to look at their card, he should have caught that. So it's on him, and then for them to suspend him for 2 years, that's a long time, man. There's guys out there shaving bats that don't get suspended for that. I've heard it's 2. I heard of 1 year being suspended for shaving a bat. This kid gets 2 years for actually not knowing the effing rules. He just goes out there and starts to play, and they win the tournament. And I don't think it was malicious. I think that he just told everybody that he's 49, and everybody just automatically thought, shit, he's 49. What do we got to check on for, you know? But knowing my coach, you know, from John Roach would have said 49. Okay, when are you going to turn 50? Charlie Mueller should know about this, and he should be chiming in here in a minute. Charlie Mueller turns the year that he was he turns it in December. So he was always one of those guys everybody was looking at because, you know, 49, like 60s. He turned 60 2 years ago, and he turned 60 in December. So he's 59 all the way till December, and then he turns. I think the only time you can do that, you'll turn it next year, is in November, that big tournament in Phoenix. It used to be in Phoenix. They can have for next year, and in the winter that goes to Florida. Correct me if I'm wrong out there, but that's what I think. Shade bats, let me get this started. I really don't have to look too much of my time because Leroy took up a lot of my time. I'm gonna talk about you bat whores out there. You guys gotta be excited about the shit that's coming up. You guys, I said this at the beginning of the year because all the shit that was coming out, and the stuff I'm gonna talk about, the stuff that I don't have, I'm gonna talk about, the stuff that I do have, I'm gonna talk about, but you bat whores are just like sitting at home looking at your Facebook or any kind of social media and getting excited because of all the shit that's coming out before Vegas. And it probably some of it will be in Vegas, but I'm gonna talk about that at the end when I talk about my bats that I have right now. All right, shade bats. And then I'm gonna walk right into something else with the shade bats. And I wanna bring this up. I haven't brought it up. I don't even think I brought it up last week. I might have brought up a little bit of it last week, but we have a lot of videos out there of guys swinging shade bats and bragging about them. Bubba brought it to my attention the other day, and he sent me the TikTok video of the guy actually showing his face and hitting a shaved bat at nighttime, talking about him shaving it, giving him his contact information on what he wants shaved, and then get out there and getting out there and hitting it, and you can see the ball, because at nighttime, when I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the ball looks like it goes further at nighttime. The Bubba has always asked me, Dave, let's do a video at night. Just let's do a video at night. And I said, no, because it gets false, like a false positive. I call it because the ball just boom, and it goes through the lights. And you probably hit it 350 and it looks like a 500-foot home run. That's the one thing about hitting at nighttime. If you guys want to do good video, do it at nighttime. And because you can pick up the ball a lot easier. You can pick up the line drives, the balls that stay up in the air that you hit, like, because we hit a lot of those, and we hit those balls that stay down, those ropes, you can see them great at nighttime. Those balls that go up in the air, you can track them against the black backdrop. It looks awesome. Bubba's begging me, Dave, let's go hit, do videos at night. And we probably will, just to prove a fact. I'm going to talk about that in a minute there, big boy. 600-foot bullshit. You brought it up. Just to let you know, you brought that shit up. So talking about, there's a lot of everybody, it's gotten so bad, shaving has gotten so bad right now that they're blatantly doing TikTok videos about it, talking about where to go to get them shaved, because it's getting bigger. It's getting huge, right? Everybody wants that money. Once they found out that one video, and I told the guys this the other day when we were hitting, put out that one video, like these bat shaving guys on the one coast, I'm not gonna say which one, made $175,000 in 1 year profit off of shaving bats. What's up, Michael? How's the wife doing? Did she get her knee fixed? Haven't talked to her, haven't seen her on social media, just asking. Y'all guys gonna be in Vegas. That's another thing too. I met Michael in Vegas a few years back. Good guy, big guy. And they're starting to, there's no deterrent from even putting out. What's up, Chino? How you doing, Chino? Shoulders getting better? I see you all over Facebook. Puro Pero Show. Anyway, Bubba calls me, he's mad. We need to out this guy. We need to out this guy. Put his picture up. Talk shit about him. Good. So it's gotten so bad, and I'm not gonna go too far into that, but it's gotten so bad where guys are advertising in plain sight. Remember, they used to not advertise in plain sight. They always would like go incognito and start just throwing shit around. They wouldn't put their face out there, right? They would just be on Instagram, or a lot of them actually do paid, what do they call them? Advertising. So if you, like on what I did was on my page, not on my YouTube page, but on my website, I put up an advertising channel, and on that advertising channel, how are you doing, Jim? On that advertising channel, they would actually have different advertisement in there. But one time somebody texts me and goes, hey, since you're so against shaving, you're advertising it on your channel. And I'm like, on my website. So I got on there, and holy shit, there was advertising on there. I took it off. I was making money off that, but I didn't know I was making money off them doing it. And I don't pick those people, like we talked about in behind the scenes, where it was on another channel on the West Coast. And I said, hang on, guys, because this happened to me. They're not putting that up there. Actually, they're selling advertisement on that website. That website goes, and they don't have control on who actually gets on there. So just anybody could just get on that website and advertise there. But I just took mine down. I'd rather not get the money and then not promote shit like that. But what's happening now is a lot of these guys out there are throwing their face in there. This is where you contact me. I can do it and have it out to y'all, express it to you the next day. Well, shit, yeah, you're going to express it to them because you make a shit ton of money off of their ass. And you want that people that come back. The one thing that I will say is a lot of guys out there don't know how to do it, and they do a shitty job of it, or do a rush job on it and cut lines in it, so you don't know what you're going to get. The reason I know that is because the video that I did on shaving, And I showed you because I gave it to my guys. They didn't even know about it. And the bat cracked within, shit, we got tremendous performance on it, but it cracked within, I forget, I'm going to say 15, 20 swings, but it broke open and you could see where the lines were cut in it, almost like grooves. And I'm like, okay, they're charging $300 for this shit? Anyway, I can talk on here for days. Let me talk about something else that I put a video out a few years ago, and I want to talk about this. Has anybody out there actually witnessed a 600-foot bomb? Anybody? I'm going to bet I'll probably get a handful of you guys. Okay? Has anybody out there actually witnessed a 500-foot bomb? Or better yet, let's scar a flow here. 400 feet is a effing shot. 400 feet is a shot, guys. Not too many people can hit 400 feet. I mean, not too many. You know, everything has to come together for it to be 400 feet. Now, when you're throwing 500 feet in there, guys, I've witnessed a 600-foot home run. One guy, ever. And he was swinging an aluminum bat. One guy. And Bubba can back me up on this with his dad, Bill Blake. I know how far Billy hit that ball. He did it twice when I was there. The ball never comes down. The wind was blowing, not hard. You got a good ball, you got to have a good bat, you got to have a great swing to hit a ball 500 feet. If you hit it 600 feet, oh my God. I've seen Billy hit it 600 feet, Bill Blake. Years ago, 30 years ago, when he was playing for, I think he's playing for Steels, going into Howard's maybe. He might have been playing for Howard's, Bubba, I don't know. But Bubba will come up here and say that. And that was back in the day, and I witnessed it. Actually, I Google mapped it. It was a little over 600 feet. What we have is when these bat companies come out with a bat, and I'm not talking shit about this bat, because a few of you guys probably saw the video. I'm not talking shit. I think this bat is a very good bat. Is it 600 feet good? No, it's not. Because it's not an end load. And that's another thing too. I kind of laugh when I see things like that because the bat the guy was swinging was not an end load. And when Oppo, yeah, get out the tape, Major. Because if you hit an Oppo 600-foot home run or a 575-foot home run, that's, and I'm not, here's the deal, JB, I'm not down in the guy. I'm not down in the bat. You could have put 500, 450 out of it. Oh, okay, all right, that's a shot. 450 is a shot, but you to say, yes, it hit the freeway, and you heard it hit the freeway at 600 feet, yeah. We hit him, Bubba hits the road at 410 foot, and we can barely hear that. Now, Mike Masenko, I know a guy that pitched to him when he hit that 508-foot home run. Mike Masenko, I know the guy was playing right field with John Gray. Guy was pitching to him as Kenny Schrader. Bubba, you know what I'm talking about. And Masenko hit that 508-foot home run. The only reason they measured it because they hit a car in the parking lot, the back of the parking lot. So not even with that ball, brother. Not even with that ball. Anyway, I'm getting too far into this, guys. 400 foot is a shot. I played major plus ball for 10 years. There were some 450-foot shots, yes. There was there 500? No, there wasn't no 500-foot shot. There wasn't no 500-foot shot. I will say this, probably one of the longest I saw was close to about 460, and I'll think of his name in a minute. Wendell Ricard, played against him, major plus. He was with Suncoast, and he hit a flat-out bomb in Vegas. Bomb. And that was a shot. Did it go 500? I don't think it went 500. I think it went close to 475. So anyway, I know I've ruffled some feathers there, but guys, It's a shot to hit 400. It's a shot to hit 400. It is, you know. I think people was throwing, I did a video on this, people are throwing 400 out there like, oh, I'm hitting 410-foot bombs. I mean, it's just, you know, everything's got to come together. Altitude actually plays a big role into that, and you know what I'm saying. But if you're on the sea level and you're blasting, I don't know if this kid was. I'm not down to the kid. I'm not saying anything. That was a shot he hit. But you know, Jose Canseco a few years ago, they're saying hit a 475-foot home run, and people are bitching about that one. What's up, Patty? I'm gonna be getting a hold of you here pretty quick about bats. Y'all, new bats that are coming out. That's what I want to talk about in a minute, about these bat whores that are out there. All right, I'm off that. I'm just saying, at least make it believable. 500 is just, that's pretty good. 500, pretty good. You got to have, boom, you got to be big. You got to be tall. A lot of leverage goes into that 500. Anyway. What we have out there on these reviews that I do, and my guys, man, I probably got some of the best group of guys. I understand that, Jim, but here's the deal. When the ball's shitty and when the wind's blowing in, yeah, that 301 foot turns into like 275. So that's a lot of people trained to hit those long home runs because they can care less about the weather. They can care less about the which way the wind, what field they're playing on, or what ball they're hitting. The worst thing you should do is walk into a tournament and be worried about which field you're playing on. So I think a lot of guys do train to hit the ball 400 feet. I do it. I've been doing it all my life. All my guys do it because we talk to them. Bubba talks to these guys and says, hey, Bubba was talking to a guy the other day about hitting, and because Bubba sees something that he, you know, and he talks to him. And we'll sit there and talk to these guys that come out and hit with us and go, hey, you trained to hit the ball far. You know, Billy Blake always trained to hit the ball. He don't hit on baseball fields because he didn't give a shit if they threw on a shitty ball because he knew that he can cut it. He can cut it a long way, 310 feet or wherever they were hitting at 325, which a lot of their guys, when they played for Steels, played in baseball fields. So, yeah, I mean, they train to hit out of baseball fields. And you know, there are people out there that say, well, shit, I don't want to worry about, I do it because I don't want to worry about, oh, shit, we're hitting a shitty ball. Oh, shit, okay, I can slap hit or hit the ball around, but your totals are going to go down for your home runs on your team. So that's why a lot of people do train to hit the ball far, and a lot of people say, why do you do that? Well, because I don't want to worry about the weather. I don't worry about if the wind's blowing, you know. That's why a lot of people do it. We talked last week about a little bit of things. I want to talk about some things at the beginning here about coaches, and like Jay Hill brought this up too, and I 100% agree with him when it comes to on-base percentage. I played with a few teams years ago where they would only do, you know, they would not do on-base percentage, you know, sacrifice flies and all this other bullshit that was out there, you know, and finally I got on a team, that, you know, on a few teams that actually would do the on-base percentage. I think that when you're picking MVP, I think on-base percentage actually every senior team should go to if you haven't went to it already. And then what you have is when you're picking these all tournaments, you go by who plays best on the field. So they coincide, Jay. You know, answering your question last week, and you're 100% right on that. Is you want to give your MVP that guy that played his ass on the field if he's playing outfield or infield, and then you gave him that best batting average too. And if he plays on the field, you got to break it down too. You guys know this, where first baseman, a fielder would get it before first baseman. Even if the first baseman out hit him by 10, 15, 20 points, you still got to give it to the fielder because he played his ass off. So that's the one thing I don't envy you coaches out there when you got to pick those numbers at the end. You got to pick those numbers at the end and then pick all these guys that actually did contribute. And then, you know, one guy is going to be left out where he's like pissed off at the world because he thought that he should get it. But I agree with what Jay Hill was saying, you know, on base percentage, and somebody else that put that out there. What I was talking about, a lot of these bats before that one was a lot of these bats that we do reviews on. what happens, and I talked to Fat Guy VP, and I was working. I was actually moving the other day, and he had contacted me, and I called him up, and we talked for an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes on the phone about everything. You know, I'll say this: I am sending him some ASA bats to do. I'm kind of swamped in ASA, trying to get those out, and then he can break them in for me. And that's basically what I say. Hey, just tell me what you think about them. Put out a review on them, and then send them to me because they'll be broke in, and I can swing them at the end. I hate breaking in bats, guys. I really do. I let my guys do it, and what I'll do is, if you see a lot of back behind the scene video, you'll see me hitting already broken bats at the beginning, you know, like my broken bats, which are these two right here. They're in my bag. I'll pull those out and just start slapping the ball just to get warm, because I have my kids, I call them my kids, they break in the bats for me at the beginning. The one thing I was talking about before, was my guys, all of my guys, my viewership has went through the roof. My viewership has went through the roof. Yes, I still have that body bag in the back. You guys see that? That's the Proton. That bat bag is badass. I was waiting for the first person to actually talk about it, and it was Yupe, Suncoast girl. My guys talking behind the scenes, you know, and this is the best year that I've actually had a senior softball bat reviews. I do analytics on all my viewers. I mean, hell, I got 49 people watching now. Those are tremendous. I thank you guys for watching. Those are tremendous numbers. But what that tells me is, because when I tried this, right, that tells me a lot of you guys are starving for knowledge. You know, I think with me or a few other guys that I have planned on coming on, that are coming on later on, coming on later on, I've got scheduled. It's all about knowledge. It's all about nutrition. It's all about how to better ourselves, how to get our quality of life back, you know, and the things that I know, and I don't want to put them all into one section. I kind of want to spread them out. That way it keeps you guys coming back and listening, because there is a lot of knowledge that we have, you know, of us hitting. Bubba came out and hit with us on Thursday and just talking, you know, and he loves doing this, although he's I don't know if he's going to come back and play 50s, you know, but he's still out there hitting bombs and hitting the ball down and then talking about bats. And he has his input that I got to get from him, because he is very knowledgeable. And I told him this the other day about about his knowledge. And I said, man, I just need you here to bounce ideas off of, you know. And then Tim McClendon, man. I haven't seen you in a long time, brother. I played with Tim years ago. Strike Zone, me and Bubba. Anyway, something a lot of you guys, you know, just looking in a different direction. Basically why I'm doing this, you know, you hear from your doctor on what he thinks, and he's up there, you know, he's up there doing his shit. Here, take this, you know, call me next week, or let's get some more blood tests next week. And I seriously think that does work sometimes, and it doesn't work sometimes, you know. There's other things. You know, I've dodged surgery for, you know, 12 years now, you know, because of things that I've learned in the past, and I'm still out there playing at 63 years old. So these are just little things that we can, and we're getting bigger. I mean, well, we got 52 showing right now. We had 4,500 2 weeks ago in 2 days, which is pretty freaking badass. My YouTube channel is blowing up, guys. If you haven't subscribed, jump over there and get on that subscription. I have a membership channel that gets a little bit more involved in a lot of the other stuff that we do. Mainly me talking to you guys. I've got bat giveaways over there too. No, sorry, Bubba will not fit in there. He's actually dropped weight and he still can't fit in there. So, I mean, I think that's the reason that a lot of you guys are watching right now, and a lot of you guys are starving for this, because it actually helps you out. You can just tweak things. One thing you will know about my swing is I've got a back injury that I've been trying to work through. I'm tweaking a lot of the stuff to still stay with power. I'm trying to drop weight. You know, I was 255, I'm 240 right now, you know, and I'm still trying to keep that strength while dropping weight. So I'm in the gym a lot. And you drop weight, you got to get in the gym if you want to keep that strength up, that power. It actually helps you though. Think about it. It frees up a lot of movement when you drop weight. And I think that's pretty good. What's up, man? So I think that's the reason this is going to evolve. It's going to take off. This year is my biggest year yet to any year that I've been doing this. And we're 8 months into it, going on 9 months into it. And it's going to get bigger. It's going to get huge, especially with the people that I have coming on at the end of the year. I'm going to Vegas a couple of 3 weeks. I'll be in Vegas for the 55s and 60s. I've got some podcast, Facebook Live videos that I have going on there. Larry Carter is going to meet me there. He's going to talk about a bunch of things. What's up, Richard? I'm reading stuff I shouldn't be doing. Clem's talking to somebody. Thought he was talking to me. So basically, that's what we're here to do. One thing I haven't seen, and I know it's out there a lot, and because I do, you know, is the hate in softball. Senior softball has calmed down a little bit, I think. What's up, Lewis? The hate in senior softball with me, you know, it's funny that I was talking to a fat guy VP about this the other day. And it's that when you do what we do, like what he does and a lot of these back review guys, if you lean too far in one direction, you call it a sellout, you know, or if you put guys out there that, yes, Kirby, you're the one, you're on my list on being there and talking to you. But what happens with doing what we get criticized quite a bit. You know, we can't, it's almost like we can't fuck up. You know, we can't do it. That's how come when I go through everything. Our reviews take a long time. I'm telling my guys Thursday, no, I want this one swung a little bit more. I haven't made up my mind on that yet. But you guys that do the reviews, you get criticized if you lean one way and not the other. So you got to kind of keep yourself or keep your guys really biased when they're talking about something. You've got to almost run it, and we do, like a business. My guys show up, they know what they need to do, they know how they need to talk now. They didn't do that last year and in the past. You know, everybody has their opinion, and they show up there and they talk about things, and you can see it on behind the scenes. And I think that's the reason we have grown, because we were actually labeled the last few years as, you know, being that guy that bends toward one bat company because we don't like the other bat company because of the way they started loading their bats. So we get all the damage control starts coming out, and you know how bad that shit can be if you're a bat reviewer. You know, if you don't like their product, boom, they start telling you, well, he's getting, what they call it, he's getting a envelope. That's the one thing I heard the other day. Well, he's getting envelopes. What the fuck is an envelope? I know what an envelope is, but really? Is that all you got? And I laugh at that shit, and I don't reply to it because I don't give a shit. It's not true, so I don't give a fuck. You know, if you think that, I actually think those bats are pretty damn good. You know, and it's just not me. Hell, I got 8 guys out there doing this shit. So we actually think that bat's doing good. I have the final say, you know. But it's everybody's out there doing it. It's not just me doing that shit. It's everybody else. And we give our 2 cents, you know. That's how come I came up with the 3 bat tier. You got fast, you got medium, and you got slow. And I think every bat company needs to think about that going forward. You know, it's something we've been trying to evolve for years, and finally it's getting there. And people are going, holy shit, he's fucking right. I've got a 50-mile-an-hour bat speed, and I can't swing that bat, but it sucks. I bought that bat, but that bat sucks. Clem's doing his, Mayor, concentrate here. Mayor, he's talking about his Achilles. Clem has came a long way. I mentioned this last week too. He totally tore his right Achilles, had it surgically repaired. He got a big scar in his ankle, and what he's doing with us, and he's getting better every time he comes out, is he's actually therapy. And he gets out there, he's learning how to push off that right leg again, because you got to activate that muscle, that, I wouldn't call him damn dude, thinking too much here. He's got to activate that, that muscle above his Achilles. I'll think of it in a minute. So a lot of guys out there do damage control where they start trashing you or getting on the, oh, he's with this company or he's with that company. And we've been dealing with that for 14 years I've been doing it, so we really don't give a shit. Say what you want, you know, but at the end, down the road, people understand, like, oh, he was right. This bat does suck for my bat swing. Matt McGee got a hold of me the other day, and he asked this question, which I don't understand, why they're actually doing this and why they don't go to more tournament directors. Why? And his question was, Dave, have you noticed that a lot of tournament directors don't get bats to actually give out, like donated, because you can actually promote your product, especially when you have banners, like let's say Matt McGee's tournament is sponsored by Mimicking, which has Easton and Worth, and all of a sudden they donate Mimicking and they donate Easton and they donate Worth over here. Now, if they're getting a product out there, maybe they can set up something like a bat day, a bat wars or something like that, and have all those bats out there that they're throwing this tournament on. And they used to do that back in the day, 30, 40 years ago, they did a little bit of that, but they would only give away a few bats. And he was saying, why are they putting it all into like a signature series player guy, or why are they giving these bat rep guys out there one bat? Wouldn't they get more people when they go to a tournament? And I understand what he's saying, and I do not understand, Matt, why they're not doing that. Because if you're thinking about crunching numbers and you think you put all that out there and just finding out what kind of views from people walking into a tournament and know it's a sponsored tournament by a bat company, that they won't buy more bats, especially when they're out there and you're winning. Let's say back in the day, it used to be like 6 bats. I'm not saying about supply the whole team. I'm just saying like 6 bats, or even give you alternatives, bat bags. You know, give you bat bags or batting gloves or whatever. At least put something in there. You know, and I think what that would do is, it's better than giving. I don't have one with me. They're in the garage, thrown on the ground or whatever. But those little patches SSUSA would give. What they would do is they would give you that little patch and do like I do. You just throw it in a box in the garage. You know, give us batting gloves or something like that. I think what they need to do is get out there and sponsor more. And I don't know if they've crunched the numbers, but I just think that they think that it's more, they would get more people buying their product if they just got one guy to swing it. And he goes out and he's all dressed up in his gear and he's swinging his product. Shit, I don't know. I think you're right, Matt. I think they need to go in a different direction on doing that. I'm not cutting on all you guys that are swinging factory bats. I'm just saying that, you know, I'll talk about that in another video about factory bats too. I don't think I need to talk about that today. So, I talked about that. Talk a little bit about, where am I at here on time? Okay, talk a little bit about breaking bats in. Balanced bats are harder to break in than end-loaded bats. You know, you got your half ounce end load, and then you got your 3/4 ounce, and you got your 4 ounce. Your 4 ounce is real easy to break in because they have that mass on the end. And then, I know, I've had those before too. Shit, I don't even use those on the car or anything. I just throw them away. Towels he's talking about. So, what I'm going to talk to you about is, if you got a balanced bat, it's just very hard to break in. You got to give it a lot of time. Or a lot of you older guys out there that swing that 70, 60, 60, 65, 50 mile an hour bat speed, it's just so hard for those guys to break those bats in. I've talked about rolling them. For you guys that live up north, you guys with that lower bat speed, I wouldn't be too. Look at all my guys getting on here. I told them they need to be more talkative when we're doing videos, so I guess they're getting up on here. Trey's even involved. So, you get your half ounce end load, takes a little bit, you know, it didn't take as long as a balance. Then you got your 3/4 ounce, which takes a little bit. And I'm gonna, like, somebody called me the other day and was talking to me about, how do you know what's a 3/4 ounce end load? And guys, I've been doing this for a long time. I know what a 3/4 ounce end load. So when these guys load these bats, I can look at the way I weigh them, and I can tell you what's a half ounce, what's a quarter ounce, what's a balanced bat, you know, and I make a lot of my decisions off of that. On me, I really don't care what the bat manufacturer tells me it is. I do a scale, I scale them, and I tell them, or I tell you guys, because I don't want you going out there and buying something that's labeled as a 3/4 ounce and it turns out to be a balanced bat and you're gonna think it sucks. So you spend all that money for nothing. And then you gotta try to sell it, and nobody wants a balanced bat that's labeled as a 3/4 ounce. That's why, and I've done this in the past, guys. I did it with bat companies. I'm not gonna call them out, but bat companies 10 years ago. I started doing this because it was all over the place. The weights on bats were all over the place, you know, 10 years ago. People were just throwing shit out there and you'd buy it. And they even had it. You can line up 3 bats from a bat manufacturer company. It's gotten better now, but 10 years ago, you can line up 3 bats and they all weighed different. They had no quality control on how to weigh these bats. Nobody gave a shit. They were just collecting a paycheck. So I came along and then I started weighing them and started scaling them and I started telling you guys on what they weigh. That's, you know, and a lot of you guys, you bat whores are watching this shit and your bat whores are getting this. You know, a lot of you guys are looking at this going, oh, what the fuck is he talking about now? So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to weigh them, tell you what they are, put them out there. What had happened is a lot of you guys out there that do these bat reviews are catching on. A lot of you guys are actually jumping on board and starting to talk about this. And I'm like, I see you guys talking about it and I'm going like, okay, they're getting it because that's the way the movement is going to get a better bat. You know, we've actually got them. I kind of wish that there was a lot more softer barrel bats out there like this one, okay? All the Mimicking line from this year, 2024, all of them have softer barrel bats. And you guys, somebody just messaged me on, he's 70 years old and he's 5'10", 210 pounds, and he works out, but he's not a home run hitter, but he wants to hit gaps. He wants to hit those gaps. Any of the Mimicking line this year, and I can pull up his name, but I can't. I don't want to do it right now because I got to stop what I'm doing. I'm kind of on a roll here. Well, a lot of you older guys, you know, look at the Mimicking line because they have a softer barrel bat. And I haven't had a bat yet that actually reached that softness with that performance as the new Mimicking line right now. So a lot of you older guys, not talking about you, a lot of you older guys, not talking about you younger guys. You know, it's totally different. Like that, like we talked about, you know, different bats for different people with bat speeds. Not necessarily with swings, but different bat speeds. I'm not saying. The only thing I go by is bat swings. There are influencers, and I'm gonna call you guys influencers because there are guys out there, yes it is, the Mike deal for the balance. Clem was talking about the Mike deal for the balance guys out there. Probably one of the best balanced bats out there that I have ever swung with performance. When you have, the one thing too, you got to think about too, when you have a balanced bat, you're not going to get the performance that you would on a half ounce, 3/4 ounce, or 1 ounce end load. 1 ounce end load, you're going to get tremendous performance if you can handle that 1 ounce end load. Softer barrel. What Mimicking, like I talked about, Mimicking has put out something that you can feel that barrel implode. And it almost like it grabs the ball. I hit mine the other day again too, and it almost like it grabs the ball. And even me, you know, which is not lower bat speed, I'm not higher bat speed, but I actually get really good performance out of it. Feels like I can do anything with it. I'm not talking about the Johnny Bailey. What we have here is a lot of these guys that what I really want a lot of these influencers to do now is start getting a membership channel. That way that we can all support each other, you know, because they are vital to what we are doing, you know, getting everybody out there their opinion on things. And I'm not saying I'm the guru of this shit. I'm really not. I'm not that way. I want other people to actually, talking to Fat Guy BP the other day, you know, hour and a half and just brainstorming and talking about shit. And I want to bring him on next week and to talk, because he does have a wealth of knowledge that I think would benefit a lot of you guys out there. Johnny Bailey has done some different things and he's got his YouTube channel going, and I think he needs to get bigger. And I think he should get a membership channel going on where people, he's not giving this knowledge that he has out there for free, you know, and getting a little bit of money for it. Actually helps do what he's doing, getting out there, because I see him out there hitting balls and going oppo up the middle or whatever, because that would be a great, I would join, you know, just to see how, and I'm 63 and I would join to see what I could learn from Johnny Bailey, you know. And he talked about this the other day. He put a big, on Facebook, he put a big advertising out there that he was going to start doing all this. And I applaud him for it. That's good for you, you know. And I think Kirby Murphy, you know, he's slowly getting there. You know, he's another one of those guys that has wealth of knowledge, and I like talking to him. Like he just talked about it a minute ago. We're going to have that podcast going up in Vegas. I'm not playing. My team is not going. And I'm probably going to go around and just watch some games and videotape some games and talk to some people, maybe do some Facebook Live at the games, you know, and then talk to a few people when I'm walking around. So that's what I want to do there to grow my channel, because I think, you know, like, and I talked to Leroy 2 weeks ago about the same thing, about this is getting bigger, you know, everybody, you know, there's a lot more videos out there, you know. They're coming out with a new one. Wait for it, Jimmy. What's comparable to the Onyx Orange bat. They're coming out with a new one. It's supposed to be very, very hot. Johnny Bailey's coming out. Get it. Subscribe to all these bat. If you guys are subscribers to me, just jump over and subscribe to all these guys out there. I mean, dude, they're putting in some work. I know what it's like, because we do it too. You know, we're out there the other day hitting at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's dark when we show up to the field. We get everything set up, and man, by the time we're finished, it's blistering 92 degrees was the other day, 95 when we actually left. And they're talking about, my guys are talking about pushing it back, because we do have kids and we take them to school and stuff. But I want to talk about that in a minute, Chris. I think I can finish up. I think I'm talked about all my shit right now. And I'm looking at all my list of shit I have to do. And I always, at last, I'm laughing because my bat whore guys, you bat whores out there are going to love this year. You're going to love this year. There's so much shit coming out. I think at the end of the year more than, and I don't think I'm going to get to most of them by the time we go to Vegas, probably when I get back, because there's a big break and then the 50s come along after that, you know, and I'm going to miss a lot of you 50 guys out there, which I wanted to kind of hang around with a lot of the 50 teams. Major plus, AAA and AA. Talk to you guys a little bit when I'm out there. And basically that's what I want to do. This next time going up there is go videotape a lot of AA and AAA guys and talk to them, because I think this is why we're doing this for you guys. We're not doing this for the major plus guys, really. We're not. Actually, what we're trying to do is get those guys up to you. You know, we're actually helping them to get better by watching our channel, what we do, so they can get up there one day. And I think a lot of those guys, the majority of the guys want to just hang out and play, but I think like 80%, 75% of those guys are in AA and AAA want that get up there. They want to go and they want to be up there with you guys. And I think with this channel that we do, I think that's going to bring them there. Maybe not next year, but year after. If you keep doing. No, that's not even happening, because I'm not there when you guys are doing that. Patty was asking me how come, unless you're playing at that same time the 55s and 60s are playing, then I might. But you guys are at the 50s. I have to fly back and go back all the way up there, because that's my moving month. End of September is my moving month. All right, you bat whore guys, listen up. Since we're on Patty, let me talk about Patty here for a minute. Patty is my Suncoast girl. I get all of my product through Patty. She will be at Worlds. I will be at her table maybe, if she's nice, because she is mean. I'll be at her table every once in a while and just talk. But I'm going to get the new bats that are coming out. With Suncoast, I am redoing all of my Suncoast videos, because all of you damage control guys, and I'm going to go in depth on all the Suncoast videos. I'm going to do all the new bats. I'm going to find out what's discontinued. I'm not doing the discontinued bats. You know, I'm not going to go back and do those. I'll do all of the newer. What's up, Murray? I want to talk. You go to Vegas, I'll talk to you too. I want to do a podcast with you too. Have you just pick your brain about a bunch of things. Added to the list, Murray. And no, you can't bring John. So what I want to do with Suncoast is, and I'm probably going to get most of my bats from Patty up there. So what I will do up there is, I don't want the discontinued one. I want all of the new Suncoast. I want all the ones that are still out right now, and I'm gonna grab those and do a review on them when I get back. And that's with Suncoast. I mean, guys, another thing too, I don't know shit about U-Trip bats and what happened to them the other day. I have posted some stuff on my Facebook page on what bats, I don't know, WSL has banned. What is WSL? I don't even know what the hell WSL is. You know, I don't know anything about U-Trip bats. Don't ask me. If you talk about senior bats, I know pretty much everything about senior bats in the past, present, whatever. You know, and I usually, before I talk about anything, I'll usually find out from the horse's mouth before I talk shit up here. I don't know anything about the banning. I don't know what happened with the banning. You know, other people would be and I'm not going to spread shit that I don't know nothing about. And that's one thing you got to understand about me is I'm not going to do that. If I don't know the facts, then I ain't talking about it. I'll just say I don't know about it. You bat whores, get together and listen right now. I'm going to talk about all the bats that are coming out. I mean, if I miss one, I'm freaking sorry because I got so freaking many of them. I'm going to start off with Proton. We have finished this review on this bat. Let me talk about one right here. This bat came from the beginning. It's a 16.892. It's a 3/4 ounce end load. It is a 26 ounce. This bat right here, you'll see a little bit of I think that's paint right here. Me and Clem can verify this. 1,000 swings on this bat right here. 1,000 on this bat. This bat is well seasoned. I'll throw that out there. I try to keep the guys from swinging. If you guys look at behind the scenes, that bat, I don't want them to swing. I'm kind of babying it. This other one here, this is the 2-piece Proton. This bat, guys, one thing when you're swinging it, you'll notice that you can go down. I'm getting to that, Quentin. If you guys swing this bat, you'll know that you can actually go down an ounce, and you're still going to get that swinging weight the same as the 1-piece because you have mass here too. When we swing this bat, we can actually feel this barrel heavy. So guys, this is another top performing bat. The review will be out on this at the end of next week. The 1-piece bat will be out the beginning of next week. And just for the record, it did make it's in the top 5. That's as far as I'm going to go with that. We have these bats are leaving me. These right here. These are the two, the butter one, this hot butter, and this Smith. They're leaving me tomorrow. They're going to Fat Guy BP, and he's going to swing them for me. Because watch the shit that I have on my plate that I'm doing right now. So those are going to Fat Guy BP, and then he's going to do a review on them. And we're not going to talk. He's just going to put it out there. I don't want to hear what he has to say about them. He's going to send them back to me, and I'm going to swing them. What were those? Okay. These 3 bats. Short porch. Let me talk about. This is them. We had this bat come out. I'm doing a review on this bat. We had this bat come out. I love this bat. This bat is hot. Then what they did was they mimic this bat after this bat. This bat is not that bat. It's going to take a little bit longer to get this bat there. If you guys have this bat, this is the hat trick. This one is the DAVEV, but this is the player model DAVEV. This is a hot bat. It only takes 150 swings to get there. You know, it's getting late when I start mumbling shit. Hat trick is the one that it's going to take a while. They did something to the paint. Anytime you change up the paint scheme, it changes up how long it takes to break it in and the durability. But didn't mess up the durability in it. It just takes us a little longer to actually get there. Who was that said that? One-piece bats, in my opinion, are the best. Well, I'm going to do a video on that. I can swing a one-piece or a two-piece, doesn't matter, whichever one performs. I'm that guy. I'm that bat whore, right? If I'm swinging a one-piece and it's this, my gamer, right? If it's this bat right here and this bat right here, I can't tell the difference in the two. And this is the two-piece. So you guys are talking about, you need to get that out of your head. That Trey Roberts, look at what happened to Trey Roberts. He loved the two-piece for years, thought they swung better. Well, he got hooked on a one-piece, which was this one here, and that's his gamer. So, you know, and then he loves this one too. So it's kind of like you need to, that's that mind playing with you, in my opinion, because I, like you, are a bat whore. If you bring on a two-piece and it's hot as shit, I'm gonna swing that damn two-piece. We just started swinging the Sin City the other day. That's this one right here. The best way I can describe this bat, it's gonna take a little bit. We only got 70 swings on it, 60 swings on it. We gotta get it there. I did not swing it because I'm letting my guys get it there before I actually touch it. And then I'm going to come in at the end and swing it with all my other guys and let you guys know what I think about it. I will say this. I think it has the barrel of that, you know, that handle. Is it the hat trick? Trey, you should know all this. Chime in here. The orange, I think it's the hat trick that had that handle that actually kind of, you know, would wave in your hands. It was kind of flimsy. This one has this tougher handle with that same barrel on it. So a lot of you guys in that middle tier are going to love this bat. Was it the Hangman? And yeah, the orange one, right, Trey? So anyway, this bat, comparable to that bat, maybe performance a little bit better, but this handle's a little bit stiffer. We just started swinging this. We liked what we got out of it, but guys, we got to break these bats in. What I'm having with a lot of my guys now is they're divas. You know, they like talking, like, look at Clem right here, he's already talking. My guys are divas, so I gotta actually make them swing the bats that we have, unless Mark Reeves is there. Mark Reeves is kind of like the mule, what we call him. He gets in there and just swings whatever he wants to, just to get some swings in there. This is that bat I'm gonna redo a review on. I'm gonna redo this one too, on a review. Clem, this is actually your bat. I haven't done anything to it. I'm gonna redo that review on that bat. And then I talked about the hat trick too. You have big end loads on these bats. This is a 26, it's a 27 ounce. It's got 17.4 on the end, 9.3 on the hands. That's like a big 3/4 ounce on that bat. A lot of you guys are talking to me. I really can't chino. Yes, you do, Chino. I think Chino only comes out when I have bats ready to hit. The bat in question the other day, like I talked about, this bat right here, California Bat Company. You'll see where it has the bear from California on it. It's a one-piece balance bat. The numbers on the 27 are 16.7 on the end, and you got 9.8 on the hands. That's what you call a balanced bat. This bat is good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's a good bat. It's a good balanced bat. It did make my top 5 on balance. This review will be on Wednesday. This is a good bat, guys. On the balance guys out there. We have Anarchy, 50 cal. It's going to take a little bit longer to get there, guys. If you got a 50 cal, just don't give up on it. Clem will actually vouch for this right here. Yes, we have. Clem actually got this bat to open up on Thursday. And I don't know, Clem would have to tell you how many swings he's got on his 27. Clem has a 27. This is a 26, 16.8 on the end, 9.3 on the hands. I like that load. But this barrel, you got to give it a little bit of time. And it started to perform really good. The other Anarchy is the Wild. I think this bat is going out tomorrow, and someone else is going to actually swing it for me and then get it back to me when he got it broke in. But not really a big fan of the numbers here, guys. This is the Wild. It's got a 27 ounce. It's 16.5 on the end and 10.3 on the hands. I like the way you bat guys, you bat reps jump in there, and I'm not calling y'all bat reps, you're like talking about what bat you love the best. Then you have this one right here. I do love the numbers on this bat. Outcast. And if you look at these barrels, guys, this is like an 11-inch barrel. I mean, it's just so short, and you have all this flex right here in the hands, and that does something to performance. You know, I don't like that big bat going all the way down and, you know, that much, taking all that much thickness. So you got flex points are different in this bat. I cannot wait to get this bat broke in. We are swinging it right now and just waiting for it to get there. That's another thing too, when you do these reviews, and that's how come they take so long, is because we want to make sure that we give every bat the opportunity to perform. And the only way to do that is hit, hit, hit. I haven't even got the Nemo bat yet, Clem. How many bats on your bat that would actually get it when it opened up on Thursday? Because remember we said it started to open up. This bat right here, probably the best performing barrel of all of the Anarchies, you know, and this is the Nemo bat. This is the new one. It's got a 10-inch, 12-inch barrel. You know, I keep saying that because look how long that long handle on that bat looks. It's small, 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 and it tapers into the connection. You have a solid connection, which I love, the solid connection on these bats. Anarchy, Nemo, great barrel. Only thing is the weights on this bat. It's a 27 ounce, got 16.5 on the end, and it's got 10.4 on the hands. That's before I put the tape on the hands, so you're probably looking at 10.7, you know, of 10.5, 10.6 on the hands. But guys, Bubba actually loves this bat the way it hits. You have a great barrel on this 12-inch bat, a really good barrel. You know, but that bat's going to be more, that bat's going to be more tuned to your faster swinging bat speed, guys. None of you lower swinging guys should actually touch that Nemo bat. Then we have Pure. This is it right here. Came out the other day. We started swinging it. It's a one-piece bat. The numbers on it is 26 ounce is a 17 on the end, and it's got 9.2 on the hands. I love that. They call that a 3/4 ounce. We're supposed to be getting some more in next week, but this is the Pure. It actually just came out the other day, and we hit it. I'm not going to talk about it. It makes a great sound right out of the wrapper. The one thing that Bubba found out, just how come Bubba, when he talks to, he knows his shit, is because of if you guys look, it's got like a weird texture to it, right? That looks like honeycomb, but it's raised, almost like the sticker is, whatever they put on it, the decal is raised. So what we're getting on this bat is spin. Like when you hit it and cut it, it gets tremendous spin when it goes up. When you square it up, you get hell of a knuckleball on this bat. And Bubba was saying he thinks it's the way because it does have a matte finish on it, but you can feel texture on the barrel. So he thinks that has a lot to do with the way the bat is performing when we're hitting them, or way we're cutting them. And he said in video, if you guys watch behind the scenes with this Pure bat, he said this bat is great for cutters because they can cut it and they get that tremendous performance and that Magnus effect, where the ball's rising when it goes over. Oh, my shit drop here. Bat whores. And that was just the bats, and if I forgot some, I'm totally sorry. I do want to talk about this. Suncoast. Like I said, Pure. Senior Slugger, the new Robo bat. I talked to the guy last week. I talked to another guy this morning. They're being shipped out on Monday. I should get them by Thursday, and we're going to start hitting them next week. I might do Facebook Live when I'm doing that new shit. A lot of you guys were asking me about that. And here's what I like is they contacted me about that bat. I did not have to hunt anybody down, and called me this morning, text me this morning, and asked me what size did I want. And he's going to get it out on Monday morning. And those will become available. I've heard a lot of good things about the Robo bat, you know. Can't wait to get that one. But like I said, the reason I'm shipping out a lot of these ASA bats, and I will get them at the end and swing them, because wanted to get a hold of Chef, the chef from Louisiana. I think he's from Florida. I think he's from Florida. I wanted to send him a couple bats too. So if you're out there, get a hold of me, and I'm going to send you some too. No problem, Chris. That's Chris Osborne, the pure bat. Anyway, the thing about, like I was talking about the pure bat since he's here, is the sound when you start hitting that pure bat is the sound I haven't heard in a while. And we really, like Bubba was swinging it. I'll have it on. I'll do a little teaser video on it next week, and he got good performance on it. But it's a sound. I like the sound. It makes a very good sound. Good barrel. You know, the way that, I don't know if that was purposely done about the texture on the barrel, but you hit a shit ton of knuckleballs if you squared it up. But if you cut it, boom, it spun that ball like you would not believe. And the reason, well, spinners too, if you hit spinners with that bat, it'll fly. It will fly. Okay. Talked about the Suncoast. I'm going to be redoing all their shit. Satisfy a lot of you guys out there. And I'm going to go in depth when I talk about the review on that Suncoast. And what I'm going to do is go in depth, especially with them, because when I do redo videos, and what I'm going to do with them, give them the benefit of the doubt, is, you know, talk about why, or if I do even have to talk about that on why, and then put that review out too. They've been at the top for years, and I think I do owe them that to redo their stuff and actually talk about it. I do. And then, but I'm going to pick up a lot of bats when I am in Vegas. Now, you softball whores out there, I know you've been waiting on this shit. Dudley. Blowing up, and I don't know why, all of a sudden, boom, it comes up today, right? Dudley. It's coming out with their line of OGs and 2.0s. And they are the same color. And you guys see the reflection on my face because I actually pulled them up. And I don't know, can somebody verify this shit for me? Because some of you Dudley guys out there, tell me if this is actually true and what they're doing. Because I just got when a lot of people share this stuff to me and ask me if I've seen this bat, what I see here is I see a 12-inch, looks like a balance bat, but it's registered as a 12-inch. Like they say, it's a 12-inch, but it's a picture of the OG balance bat, that black one, and it has the same colors on it. And then it has what it looks like to be a 13-inch barrel, but it says a 12-inch on it too. It's not really a red knob, but the pictures that they're sending of it really doesn't look. And they put them all together, like they're coming out with two different lines of bats. And one of them, I want to call it a 12-inch. I want to call it the red knob, or is it just the white knob? Shit, I don't know. You know, it actually looks like on one side of it, it has the yellow Dudley. It looks like a red knob. And the other one looks like it has the lightning, which the gray around it, which would be a 13-inch. So I don't know. If you guys know anything about that, Dudley's coming out. They're actually taking pre-orders. It says new. They're coming out with the same design and the same graphics, and they're putting it on one of their bats. And they're asking for pre-orders. The one thing I will tell you, guys, is this. Before you get out there, and I know you bat hoard guys are going to get out there because you like buying up the newest shit, not knowing if it performs or not, at least give it a chance to actually get distributed between a lot of the bat review guys to tell you if it does, that barrel does soften up. Because if that barrel does not soften up like the OGs, or are they just trying to make money? That would be the biggest thing that I would actually bitch and moan about. Or you paint something a color of a great bat and then want to make money off that great bat. because you have a lot of these bat whore guys out there that would actually jump on the bandwagon and look at that shit and buy it and stick it in your garage. You know, well, this is the third run of these bats, because remember you had a reissued 12-inch 2.0 that was out there. That was not a bad bat, but it wasn't as good as the original 2.0 on the 12-inch. The light blue one, the royal blue one. So they have advertising for the Doom bats that a lot of guys were asking me about. Have I done the Doom bat? And a lot of you guys send this to me today. Have you seen this? Dudley's coming out with the OG again. Okay, guys. The only way that they can come out with an OG is if they did it in the same factory, they used the same SKU marks, you know, the SKU numbers, and pulled them off and made that bat the same layer of the carbon, the same machine. From what I know is they don't have access to all of that. So they would have to be making kind of like the Party Time, taking the Party Time, which is a 12-inch barrel, and painting it that color. Party Time is not a bad bat. You know, you'll get great performance on the Party Time and the Bobby Nifong, just durability. Spent $900 in bats and cracked them within 3 weeks. $900 in my garage cracked. So if you guys, I recommend them. Hell yes, I would recommend them. If I can get 300 swings on a bat and it performs like that Dudley bat, that Party Time and that Bobby Nifong, because they perform pretty much the same. And my guys will tell you, they are hot ass bats. Hot ass bats. But if you don't have, who is that? Chad, is that Chad? If you don't have the guy, you can't mimic the guy. Doesn't matter, I don't give a shit who you are. There's only a few people in this world can mimic that guy. You can't mimic that guy. So if you don't have that guy there building that bat, because that guy's moved on, he's with Suncoast now. So, and I've talked to him a few hours in Vegas years ago. Guy knows his shit. So if you don't have the guy, you don't have the bat. Unless somebody just developed for the first time in I don't know how many years, since they don't use that factory anymore, developed how to actually build that bat, which I don't see it. The guy would have to go back to them, and he'd have to do it off the same machine. You'd have to have the same numbers. You'd have to put those numbers up there. And from what I heard, they use Kevlar, and where they wrap the Kevlar in that carbon, you'd have to do it exactly the same. You'd have to use the same rosin. And guys, they're not going to build that bat the same, because they made no money off that bat. They went backwards. They lost. Well, not really lost. They just didn't make the money they should have, because today those bats are still out there. Go to your AA and AAA tournaments. You'll see those bats are still out there. And a lot of people use them with that lower bat speed, because those are the bats that could actually lose its life and be passed down. I agree with you. Because I don't think anything will be close, Patty. I agree with you 100%. That's why those bats are going for $450 and well worth it to an older guy. And I guarantee the people who are buying those older bats that are put out there are your older guys. That guy that could buy that bat one time and swing for the rest of his senior life. Those are the guys. And they get great performance, because that bat can go dead and you can turn and give that bat or sell that bat to a older senior, and it's alive again, because he's not generating that bat speed to collapse that wall. Guys, I'm done. JBI's coming on after me. I don't know how this is going to go. I might be back on schedule next week. I really don't care what they're going to do. I can go earlier, go later, just as long as they get up here and talk. I would rather not go on at 10 o'clock, because that means my Florida brothers do not get to see me till the next morning. But guys, hey, stay safe. Again, don't be a dick to everybody. Be nice. And I'll see you guys again next week. Thanks. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I got a couple more here that I want you to take a look at. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button right down here below. And I also have a membership channel. It's that little join button that you have right down here. Click on it, and it actually has a small video in there that explains everything in the membership. Plus, it actually helps support what we do. Thanks, guys.